We currently have a crazy deal going on over at poodlecfb.com. If you use code BACKTOSCHOOL, all lowercase with the number 2 in the middle, you get 50% off the annual plan. And if you use code BACKTOSCHOOL2025, again, all lowercase with the number 2, you get 40% off the monthly plan. That is the best deal we've ever ran over there. Make sure to take advantage. This is a locked-in grandfather deal, so if you lock yourself into this deal, you have it for the lifetime of your membership. So come check it out, sign up, don't miss out on the best deal we've ever ran. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and today's video, I'm gonna be going over an insane recruiting method. If you're looking to get access to exclusive Dynasty information, thousands of lines of Excel data, all of our data studies, exclusive member-only videos, the ultimate CFB guide. If you're looking to get access to quite literally the best place to be in Dynasty, come check out poodlecfb.com. Use code HALF-OFF, all one word, all lowercase, half off. Get you 50% off any plan on the site, monthly or annual. We're getting into the winter season, which is prime gaming time. Come lock in, come dominate your Dynasty. It's quite literally the best place to be if you're a Dynasty diehard. Come check it out, guys, and don't forget, if you're not already in here, you're likely being dominated in your Dynasty by someone who is. I promise you that. So come check it out, use code HALF-OFF, let's get into it. So guys, as you know, in CFB this year, the big conversation is, do you go the talent developer strategist route, or do you go the elite recruiter route? And as you guys know, in most of my videos, the way I've described this as, if you're a top 10 to 5% player in your league, in terms of both playing, winning, and recruiting player building, the elite recruiter talent developer hybrid is probably your best bet. If you're anyone else, it's usually a talent developer strategist route. But what if you could do all of the above at the same time? And that's what this video here is to go through. So if you guys already watched a few of our other videos this week, you should have already learned about some of the visit influences as well as the recruiting influences. And if you put it all together, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. There's a way to dominate every aspect of the game: player building, recruiting, player retention, while doing it all in one coach build with or without the pre-order bonus. So this year, a lot of people have been focusing on a few things. That's A, beelining for lasting impression. That's also going towards recruiting and getting elite recruiter to get always recruiting, which is tier 4, right behind my webcam. Increased weekly recruiting hours. I assume I don't have to move it because you've probably seen it 100 times. So the alternate build has been going talent developer tier 1 through 3, occasionally 4, getting a elite talent building pipeline, as well as strategists for MindReader to bring in elite devs, star devs, as well as getting some bonuses and retaining players, right? Now, we realize that in this talent developer build and the strategist build, you usually go tiers 1 through 3, occasionally 4, and you also do tiers 1 through 4 strategists. Now, there's intended and unintended consequences of getting packages. Let me give you a quick example. Motivator. Motivator, tier 3, is one of our favorite abilities in the game, which is put in the work. Now, one of the best abilities in the game is going to be under Master Motivator. That's tier 3, everybody eats. Increase all XP gains. Huge ability. The problem is, to get to tier 3, you got to buy tier 1 and 2. That's a 24-point loss times 7. That's a lot. That's about 160 something, I believe. Quick math. That's a lot of points wasted on things you don't even want. Similar to tier 3 here, people complain about, because that's 16 points times 7. Again, another big waste of almost 100 points. And that is why a lot of people have wanted to forego Motivator. Now, the beauty of this new method I'm going to give you guys, it allows you to stay within your build while maximizing things. So let's start with talent developer, just as a quick one. Talent developer tier 1 through 3 is incredible for building up players. Now, tier 4 boosts a pipeline bonus. That is a very interesting ability because it's one of the best recruiting influence abilities in the game. So since you already paid 36 points to get to tier 3, another 12 points isn't going to kill you. Now, conversely, if you wanted to be a good recruiter, you'd have to now open the recruiting build, pay 20, 30, 40, 50 points to open up this tree. You'd have to go through. You'd have to get elite recruiter. You'd have to spend all these points because tier 4. It's a very expensive thing to have both talent developer and recruiter and strategist, right, and CEO. So you typically can't get all of them. But what if you could do tier 1 through 4 now for just an extra 12 points? Again, if you have the pre-order bonus, it makes it even easier. That gives you a boost to your pipeline for pipeline influence, pipeline starting interest. That's huge. Now, strategists, again, our other staple of the talent developer build. You want to do tier 1 through 3, well, tier 1 through 4. So you're doing this for tier 3 and 4, which is quarterbacks have lower deal breaker threshold, which helps with player retention and easier recruiting, which again is a quasi recruiting ability because it allows you to actually recruit more players despite deal breakers, and MindReader for elite and star dev, which makes it easier to farm top devs. Now, if you guys watched my other video, you know that tier 1 and tier 2 are two of the best recruiting abilities because if you maximize your visits right, you can strictly win recruits on visits. Now, the one caveat to all this is keep in mind that there is one thing you gotta worry about: when your home games are scheduled. If you're in an online league and you have no control, you probably don't always get the home games you want. But if you're the commissioner, you can pick your home games. If you're an offline league, you can pick your home games. And in most cases, you likely don't get screwed every year. But this is a way to avoid elite recruiter entirely, go all in on strategist and talent developer, and recruit at a top tier clip. So last year, visits were like what I refer to as a topping or a tip. Let's say you put 100% of effort, a visit would give you 110. This year, a visit can swing an entire recruit on its head. You could be behind against Georgia, you could be behind against Bama, and I'm going to show you guys a few examples real quick of how visits are super crucial and how you could utilize them. So let's go look at recruiting real quick and look at the strategy that I'm utilizing. And I don't even have strategists yet built out on this thing, but this is the way I'm gonna attack recruits. Look right here. In CFP 25, this recruit's likely cooked without the visit, right? Georgia, Bama. Bama's gaining the most influence here, as you see by their bar. They're gaining about double. Bama's going to clearly take this recruit. Georgia's going to clearly be in second. LSU's going to be a distant third. Florida State gives up. Now, with a week 4 visit, I went and checked out the schedules. So what you want to be doing is this, especially once you get those packages. Let me just show you guys the strategy real quick. You want to go to team schedules when setting up your recruits for the year. See who you're competing against. I knew I was competing against Georgia. Let's go to Georgia real quick. And you see this right here. Georgia has a home game week 2 and week 4 and week 5. So I knew week 2 was too soon. Week 3 they can't schedule one, and week 4 they have a home game. So when I checked out my schedule, I had home games week 3 and 4. I could have scheduled it for week 3, but they can't schedule one that week anyway. So instead I scheduled it for week 4 to lock them out. Now their earliest visit they could do is week 5. And the idea is that I take such a huge advantage on that week 4 game, that week 4 week, that by the time we get to that, they fall greatly behind. So now that's with no abilities. Now imagine if you were to do this, because obviously if they got the visit first, they likely beat me. Now if you were to do this with the strategy I'm talking about, you would get boosts of visits have a bigger impact. That's bigger. Then you can go ahead and boost complimentary visits. Make sure you do the quarterback with a wide receiver. Make sure you do the cornerback with the safety or defensive lineman. Make sure you do your complimentary visits. But on top of all that, make sure you get a blowout win, especially how I have it scheduled against the FCS, whatever, Piranhas. I'm going to go play that game manually as a CPU game. Make sure I get the 17-point blowout. 17-point blowouts are the largest recruiting influence, bigger than any other ability in the game. So if you get a blowout win and you maximize tier 1 and 2 strategists, basically a visit will beat any recruiting package in the game. You just have to make sure you set yourself up the right way. The abilities make it even easier to do so. Now, there are downsides to this. You could get bad home games, which again, for me in leagues, when I'm being honest with you, for every 10 seasons, I usually get screwed on about 2 or 3 of them with the wrong home games. But the other 7, about 70% clip, I'm getting useful home games that I could utilize to win my recruits. Now, because you have Mind Reader, you can also make sure you get your Elite and Star Dev later in the season to kind of like hedge your bets if you don't get those guaranteed 5 stars. And if you're recruiting at the clip, I think you can with Elite and Star. You're not going to be hurt too much if you have one bad recruiting class, as long as they're not like overly consecutive. But this is a great strategy, especially when you go back to that video I just dropped it a few days ago, the visits. Make sure you go through that and you go look at each influence gain so you could see it, the complimentary visits. Now, if you really want to make this super insane, the best way to do it, especially if you forego recruiter, you can do talent developer and strategist, and then you can go up to CEO and get more the merrier. This allows you to do 8 visits in 1 week, which means you can get the complimentary visit bonus, you can get a blowout win, and you can do 8 visits, which in this year is possible. Last year, too expensive, would have cost you about 320 points. This year, you can do it for about 80 points or maybe even like 100, 120, depending on how the proximity of your visits, which a lot of the times, a lot of the top recruits you're going for, especially in this year, is likely close to pipeline because you're going to have a much better starting interest against other 5-star teams. You can do 8 complimentary visits, parlay it perfectly with the tier 1 and 2 strategist, and you're going to be absolutely cooking. And the crazy thing about this is this doesn't cost you many coaching points. See, before, if I want to be an elite recruiter with this build without strategizing visits, you'd have to then buy this tree, go all in. It's going to cost you 300, 400, 500 points worth of coaching points. Now you can effectively keep doing your usual build, tier 4 strategist, tier 4, tier 3 talent developer, depending on what you want, and have your usual build and still recruit effectively out of this. And like I said, 30% of the time you're probably going to lose out in a recruit due to like bad scheduling. But if you're hitting at a 70% clip, plus you have the elite player building, that's the crazy thing here. You have to look at like opportunity cost. So elite recruiting, bad player development. When you look at how this is going to work out, yeah, you get those like 80 level overall recruits, but if they grow badly, you don't get all that. But now with this build, you're going to be getting high tier recruits at a 70% clip, and you have the talent developer build, which basically will give you like 99 overall players. So you're going to get those elite players you want at a good enough rate, or a pretty high, I'd say almost elite rate, while still being able to grow them at an elite rate in the case that you don't get them. It is a foolproof, fail-safe strategy. Likely the best build in the game. I'll probably update my best build shortly. This was pretty much the best build, but I can pretty much lock it in without the caveat of the other version. If you did the recruiting, that's still fine. The recruiting build's still going to win like a 90% clip, but you have to make sure you're one of the best players in your league. This is like the foolproof 98% of players could probably benefit from this build. Now you can take it a step further, making sure you get better starting interest with program builder and so on and so forth. That'll be in the final build when I do drop it. But the point of this video is for you to understand how dangerous visits are this year, especially if you do it the right way. And you guys have to remember, with visits, they're so cheap now. Your build already incorporates visit bonuses into it. If you strategize them right, always make sure. When I go to recruit a 5-star, after the first week, I see who are the players. Bama, Georgia. Okay, go check their schedules. Okay, Bama has openings 2, 3, and 4. Damn. Okay, Bama's going to be able to get any of those. They have a big lead on me. If Bama was getting a visit in on like week 3, I'd probably back out of the recruit. But the fact that I was able to lock out Bama and Georgia with a week 4 visit ahead of any of the visits they could have did was so huge and made it so much more advantageous and made me stay in. I would have backed out in that 5-star. If that was any other week, any other game, CFP 25, this kind of coaching build I have right now, I would have backed out of that recruit. But knowing I can utilize a visit is huge, and knowing that once I have my coaching build down, I'll be able to dominate anyone with a visit. And basically, if you have openings like a week 3 or 4, and you log in and right in advance, you can basically pick and choose what recruit you want. That is how crazy this build will get. That is how crazy the strategy is, and it allows you to forego Elite Recruiter. And now with those extra points, you could really go in on Program Builder and CEO. Before, it was hard to do that when you wanted to get Elite Recruiter. Now you can go in on CEO, Program Builder. You may even be able to get a little crazy with Architect or Master Motivator. But guys, about it for the video. Hope you did enjoy. Remember, if you want to be a part of all our data studies, all of our advanced analytics, a part of the conversation, DM me directly. Our admins gain 24/7 support to the greatest CFP community, the brightest minds. Sign up for poodlecfp.com, code half off, all lowercase, one word. Half off, get you 50% off any plan on the site. Winter season's coming. Great gaming atmosphere coming up. Come check it out, guys. Come be a part of the conversation. If you're not already in the league or in the chat, you're probably being dominated in your league by someone who is. So come check it out, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.